a Drunk Mike instructional video.
Alright, welcome. Today we're going to be going over Mini-14 malfunction drills. And I'm breaking it up into two different types, or type 1 malfunctions and type 2 malfunctions. We'll go over each in turn. Alright, so using dummy rounds is always the best way to practice these kind of malfunctions. Load our magazine with some dummy rounds, chamber our weapon. Now the type 1 malfunction is pretty simple. It's basically you press the trigger, goes click, and no bang. Okay, so just like this, click, no bang. Alright, so something's wrong. So we want to bring our weapon in to our working space. So you don't want to work on your weapon out here. You want to come in and work with our weapon in this space where it's easier to manipulate things. So we got to click, no bang. That can be caused by a couple of different things. It could be a bad round, defective primer, and that's not just with reloads, but it can be with factory ammunition also. I've seen factory ammunition that has primers that are smashed in sideways and upside down from just the manufacturing process. So it could be a bad round where the primer doesn't go off, or it could be no round in the chamber, and it could be magazine not seated properly. So typically with semi-auto handguns, I think most of us are familiar with the tap rack ready. Well, we're going to do something like that also with the Mini-14, but tapping this magazine really accomplishes nothing because of the way it's inserted. So with the Mini-14, type 1 malfunction is rock, rack, and ready. Alright, simple as that. We rock the magazine, rack it, and we're ready. So that's the type 1 malfunction.
Can you demonstrate to us really quickly how the magazine seats in that firearm?
Sure.
Since I don't think everyone's familiar with it.
The Mini-14, just like its father, the M14, and also the AK-47, the magazine inserts by contacting that little hole there, contacts a little nub right up here in the magazine well. And can you see that?
It's a little hard to get at in the shadow.
Right in there.
Okay.
So there's a little nub there, and that's what this part of the magazine comes into contact with. So you got to make that contact right in there, and then the magazine rocks in and it clicks into place.
Okay, so it doesn't go straight up and down.
Right.
Got it.
So
thank you.
Inserting it straight up and down gets you nowhere. And that can also lead to a magazine that's kind of hanging like that. Okay? And if you try to rack the weapon like this, the magazine is seated down too low, so the round won't get picked up by the bolt and chambered.
Okay.
So you'll have an empty chamber, a click, no bang. So we remedy that by grabbing that magazine and rocking it in, and then racking, and you're ready to go. Alright, so that's the type 1 malfunction. And we'll set up the type 2 malfunction as soon as I reload my magazine. So we're going to do the type 1 malfunctions live fire, and the way we set this up is we mix up dummy rounds and live rounds into one magazine. So in this case we have 6 dummies and 6 live rounds randomly mixed into one magazine. So this way we're going to work through the entire magazine. The rifle fires, that's fine. Continue firing until we reach a malfunction, and then we clear it. All right. Bring it into our working area. We rock, rack, get out that bad round, charge, and we're ready. Again, rock, rack it, and we're ready. Rack, ready. And we're done. All right, type 2 malfunctions are double feeds and stovepipes. And the way we clear that is a little different, involves a few more steps, but it's not too complicated. All right, so to set this up, put our dummy round into the chamber, load our magazine of dummy rounds, and let the slide gently go forward onto that dummy round there in the chamber. Okay, so now I've set up is a double feed, and that's what a double feed looks like. And that's important to recognize that, because as you're up engaging your target or your threat and you get a click, no bang, bring your rifle back in to your working area and see what's going on. And if you see that, you know you're going to have to use the type 2 malfunction drill to clear it. Again, the causes of this malfunction are could be a couple different things. It's basically a failure to extract the spent casing. So that can be caused by extractor issues on your bolt. Could be a weak extractor spring. So the extractor, which is a claw like this, and the extractor on the bolt has a claw and it grabs that rim of the cartridge and it's supposed to pull it out. Or could be the spent casing is still lodged in the chamber because of a dirty chamber, or too much pressure is going through the gas system and blowing that bolt back too soon without letting that cartridge contract just enough that it needs to extract. Because when that cartridge is fired, the brass expands, grips the chamber walls, and soon after that it constricts a little bit, allowing it to be extracted. So that's why there's a delay in the bolt rolling forward. So the bolt comes back, picks up another round, and then tries to load it in, and we got a little train wreck.
Alrighty then. Choo choo.
I'm laughing at the sound effects.
I think I can.
So anyways, got a little train wreck here. So rocking this and racking it is not going to do a damn thing. So what you're going to have to do is rip the magazine out. So rip the magazine, and it's your choice, depending on the situation, whether you want to just dump this magazine and get a new one or save this magazine. As you can see, this kind of a thing can happen. You don't want to load this back in, this magazine back in this condition, so that's not going to do you any good. But throwing away magazines is not always a good idea either, so generally you want to just kind of stow that out of the way for now. You can also tuck it under your arm, just like that, while you're working. So after we've ripped our magazine out, we're going to rack. Now, this is a good point here to demonstrate the 3 different ways to charge the Mini-14. You can come over the top with your primary hand and rack like this, or with your support hand, maintain your master grip. You can come under like this and rack, or you can come over the top with that meaty portion of your palm there and rack. I like this because you're naturally rocking the rifle outboard like that, and it allows the rounds to kind of fall out this way.
Now, can you actually demonstrate that second method? Because it looks like your master grip hand is going to get in the way there from this perspective. So maybe you could just... So there was no impact on... Okay. So it does clear. It's just...
Yeah.
All right.
And then over the top, it's like this. And of course, coming over with your master, your primary hand, like that. Whichever you prefer. No way is really faster than the other, so it doesn't really make a difference. So we've ripped the mag, rack to clear the casing from the chamber. Now we grab our new magazine or the old one, rack, and we're ready. Okay, and that's it. That's clearing the type 2 malfunction.
All right.
And we'll set up the next same malfunction clearance, but a slightly different malfunction. All right, so we're going to set up a stovepipe, and a stovepipe looks something like this. Our magazine loaded. So what causes a stovepipe is could be too little gas pressure coming through the system. So before, with a failure to extraction, you might have too much gas coming through. With a stovepipe, you might have too little coming through, so it might be a clogged gas port in the system, letting not enough gas come through, so the bolt doesn't fully go back, just barely extracts the round, and then it kind of tumbles around and then gets stuck like that. So same same malfunction drill though to clear it. Again, the racking and rocking isn't going to really help with this because you want to get this really cleared out of the way. So for this one, I'm going to rip the magazine out. I'm going to rack. Reload our magazine, charge, and we're ready. If you have some trouble ripping that magazine out, and it is difficult to get out, that's why you have to rip it. You can't be gentle with it, you got to really rip it out. I'll set up a double feed. So it can be kind of tough to rip that magazine out because there's force of the bolt is pushing against that round that's still in the magazine and in those magazine lips. So what you could do, if it is too hard to get out, lock the bolt back, just like that. Now it's easier to get out because you don't have that bolt pressure on the round, so it's easier to remove the magazine, and then you can rack, and you could even hold the bolt back again like that, reinsert it, new magazine, and charge it. One final note with all this: when you do experience a malfunction with your rifle, the first thing you're going to do is get rid of your rifle. If you're in a critical situation, if you're on the range, it really doesn't matter. But if you're in a critical situation and you have a malfunction with your rifle, you're going to want to get rid of your rifle and go to your handgun. And that's why, you know, having a sling is nice, because you can simply dump your rifle, go to your handgun, address the threat, and then when it's safe to do so, when there is no more threat and when you have cover and time to do so, then you can work on fixing your malfunctions.
So that brings a couple of questions to mind. First of all, what if the threat is not addressable with your sidearm? You have a threat that has a rifle, himself or herself, and you're not able to engage that threat with a pistol effectively or safely, or adequately even. Is it better to work the rifle and rectify the malfunction, or retreat to cover, or still try to engage with your handgun?
Well, yeah, retreat to cover and fix the problem.
So it's effectively run away.
Yeah, if you can't address the threat with your handgun, then yeah, you're just going to have to retreat basically at that point.
Okay.
And go to cover.
All right.
And then fix your malfunction, which,
so
as you can see, it doesn't take a lot of time
to
fix it, but, it can take, I don't know, what was it, like 5 to 10 seconds to fix something.
That's 10 seconds where you've lost focus.
A lot, yeah. So
okay.
That's why you do need to be behind cover and in a lull in the battle.
Excellent. Good information to have out there, folks.